going to get into the vehicle. I'm going to check that my seatbelt...
What are we performing?
We're performing the in-cab. Okay, I'm going to check that my seatbelt latches and unlatches properly, and I'm going to ask that you do the same. Then I'm going to check that my mirrors are properly adjusted to seeing the trailer from the driver's position. I'm going to check that the windshield has no stickers obstructing my view and no cracks larger than $1 and stars bigger than $0.25. So now I'm going to do a safe start. So I'm going to press the clutch. I'm going to make sure it's in neutral. And I'm going to start the vehicle. I'm going to check that my ABS light comes on and goes off. Then I'm going to start the vehicle. I'm checking to make sure that my oil pressure, my temperature gauge, and my air gauges rise properly. I'm also going to check my volts to make sure that my alternator is charging properly. And it's 13.7, so that's between 12 and 14, so that's good. I'm going to check my four-way flasher indicators on my dash. I'm going to check my left turn signal, my right turn signal, my high beams to make sure they are all working, and my lights. I'm also going to check my heater to make sure my heater's working and my defroster's working. I'm going to check that my windshield wipers turn on and off and have fluid. I'm going to check my country horn and my city horn to make sure that they're working. Okay, so now I'm done with my in-cab and I'm going to start my air brake test. So I'm going to press the clutch. I'm going to put it in a low forward gear and I'm going to turn the key off. I'm going to turn the key back on, just in the on position, and make sure that all my needles sweep. So the first part of the air brakes test is the static test. So I'm going to press the parking brake and the trailer brakes. And when you stop hearing the hissing sound, the air pressure is stabilized. So I'm now going to check that the gauges, my air gauge doesn't lose more than 3 psi in a combination vehicle and 2 psi in a straight vehicle. So now I'm going to do the applied test. So I'm going to apply the brake all the way to the ground, and now I'm going to make sure that the air pressure gauge doesn't lose more than 4 psi in a combination vehicle and 3 psi in a straight vehicle. Now I'm going to do the low air pressure warning. So I'm going to fan the brakes down to 60 psi and make sure that all 3 emergency lights come on. Boom, boom, boom. Okay, so that worked. So now I'm going to do the emergency parking brake test. So I'm going to fan it down between 20 and 40 psi, and both knobs should pop out. Yellow before red, or at the same time, but never red before yellow. Okay, so they popped out. So now I have no air, or I'm depleted of air, so I'm going to do a rate of pressure, I'm going to check the rate of pressure, which will be the governor cut in. So I'm going to start the vehicle, make sure it's in neutral, and I'm going to hold the RPMs. I'm going to hold it at 1,000 RPMs. At this point, I'll have a stopwatch. So when the PSI for the air pressure reaches 85, I will time it to make sure that it reaches 100 PSI within 45 seconds. Okay, so it's about 85. So now I'm going to time it to 45. $35, $36, $37, $38, $39, $40, $41, $42, $43, $44, $45. Okay, it's at 100 PSI. That was the governor cut in. So now we are listening for the governor cut out. You'll audibly be able to hear it with a loud psh, and the needle will stop sweeping at about, whenever you hear that sound, which is at about 125 PSI. There it goes. Okay, so now you're going to do, as the governor cut out, so now you're going to do your parking brakes. So you're going to put it in a low forward gear. I'm going to test my trailer or my tractor brakes. So I'm going to release the brakes. Sorry, I'm going to test my trailer brakes. So I will release my tractor brakes. So you let out the clutch gently, and you should feel a tug. Okay, so now we're going to opposite. So release these, press this, let out the clutch lightly, and you'll feel a tug. Okay, so I'm going to put it back in neutral, and I'm going to pull both brakes. Now I'm going to do my service brake test. This is where you explain it. You will go, put the truck in a low forward gear and go approximately 5 miles an hour. You're going to hold the steering wheel lightly and press on the brake. When you do that, you're looking for any pull from side to side, any dipping, delayed stopping, or weird sounds from under the hood. And if so, you take it to the shop right away.
Ta-da!